So here's HKD AMTD Digital. This finishes at $1,679 today. That is up 126.28%. What's up, YouTube? My name is Ty, financial advisor. Welcome to my channel. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here's AMTD Idea Group. This finishes at $7 today. That is up 236.54%. This stock is the parent company of HKD. Apparently, this company is a Chinese investment bank. So HKD has been squeezing for the past few days, and AMTD really hasn't been doing much. But today, this started squeezing as well. Not really a short squeeze like HKD, but definitely a gamma squeeze here. So this did make top 10 on StockTwits today, had over 9,000 mentions, so we're going to analyze it. So no company-specific news to justify this price action today, other than this stock trading in sympathy with HKD. Apes in here, still trying to squeeze the stock up. All right, let's jump right in. Let's go ahead and analyze here. We have a bull flag here in the making. Here's the flag pole, and no confirmation just yet, but all we would need is some pullback to form the flag, and that would be a bullish indicator. That is suggesting that the stock may break out to the upside. And then we have a head and shoulders developing. Back here a couple days ago was when the first shoulder formed. Today the head formed, and the second shoulder hasn't formed yet, but that would be the next step. So the head and shoulders is a bearish indicator. That is suggesting that the stock may sell off. And it is a very ugly head and shoulders, but still a head and shoulders nonetheless, just with a really long neck here. And then we have a gap up created today at 230, so that's a bearish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back down to 230 to fill that gap, and that gap should fill in the short term. And in the aftermarket here, this is pulling back down to 680. So if this aftermarket action holds, that would be a bearish indicator for tomorrow. That is suggesting that tomorrow the stock will sell off. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 725 and 685. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 790, 1075, and then the high of 1290, which it hit today. 1290 is the all-time high, so no resistance after that. That would be uncharted territory. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 685, 535, 430, 410, 390, 375, 355, 335, 320, $3, 280, 265, 255, 240, 230, 220, $2, 185, 175, 155, 145, 125, 110, and then the low of $1. $1 is the all-time low, so no support below that. That would be uncharted territory. So right now with the current price, $7, the channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 430 to the downside, the channels start to narrow, so expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 430 to the downside. RSI is currently at 90, so that is very overbought and very overvalued, so be careful guys. According to the RSI, the current price of $7 should be much lower, and this did 226 million in volume today, biggest volume day of the year, way above the average of 4 million. So this pump/squeeze today was confirmed by the volume. And it appears like the squeeze is still on. Okay guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So yeah, this is squeezing in sympathy with HKD right now. Not quite a short squeeze like HKD, but still massive price action here today. So congratulations to all the apes. But at this point, the stock is starting to look pretty bearish. Again, we have some pretty strong bearish indicators in the head and shoulders, gap up, aftermarket action, and high RSI. Way more bearish indicators than bullish indicators here. So this may have a little bit more upside to go in the short term because this is still short squeezing, but sooner or later, this is probably going to pull back pretty significantly. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. You already missed your chance. Massive upside today, and going long at this point at $7 would be FOMO. Really shouldn't go too much further to the upside. It appears like the squeeze is going to wind down pretty soon. And again, this should eventually fill the gap at 230. So from the current price of $7 down to 230, that would be over a 65% downside potential. Long at the current price, $7 would be a high risk, medium reward play. I say high risk because, again, over a 65% downside potential. And I say medium reward play because, again, this is still squeezing. So there is still more upside potential, but this should start to pull back pretty soon. So yeah, $7 is a pretty terrible entry. I don't think you should go long there. If you're a little patient, again, this should pull back down to 230 to fill the gap, and I think that would be an excellent entry. I would say going long at 230 would be a low risk, high reward play. Really shouldn't go too much lower than 230, and there's massive upside potential if you are able to enter at 230. So I don't like the current entry of $7, but I can support going long at 230 where the gap is, and if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short now financial advice, that appears to be a really good play at the moment. Again, a lot of bearish indicators right now, only one bullish indicator, and really shouldn't go too much further to the upside. The squeeze looks like it's going to pull back pretty significantly very soon, and again, there's over a 65% downside potential here. So I would say going short here would be a medium risk, high reward play. I say medium risk because this is still short squeezing, still a retail favorite, so anything can happen, although unlikely, and I say high reward play because, again, over a 65% downside potential here. So as long as you're able to withstand some upside pressure, you should be able to make 65% to the downside here pretty easily. So I can support going short at the current price, $7 and higher, and again, I would cover at 230 where the gap is. So pretty straightforward, guys. This is squeezing in sympathy with HKD. Not quite a full-on short squeeze like HKD, but gamma squeezing here. So massive price action today. Congrats to the apes. But this looks like it's due for some pretty big pullback here in the short term. It's starting to look pretty bearish. So if you want to go long, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. You missed a lot of upside already today, and going long would be FOMO at this point. Good chance you get burned. So I don't like the entry of $7, but I can support going long at 230, where the gap is. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before, and massive upside potential in the longer term. Really can't go too wrong there. And if you want to go short, looks like a pretty good play. A lot of bearish indicators right now, only one bullish indicator. Again, this should pull back down to 230 to fill the gap. That would be over a 65% downside potential. So massive downside potential here, and really shouldn't go too much further to the upside. So I can support going short at the current price, $7 and higher. And again, I would cover at 230 where the gap is. And that should be a relatively easy 65% downside gain here. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up, not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AMTD Idea Group. So here's HKD AMTD Digital. This finishes at $1,679 today. That is up 126.28%. So this stock has been short squeezing the past couple of days. It didn't have too much momentum, not too many mentions on StockTwits, so we didn't analyze it. But you guys here in the community have been telling me every single day, look at HKD, look at HKD, crazy price action. And yeah, today, this was number 1 on StockTwits, had over 10,000 mentions, so we are going to analyze it today. So up to this point, for the past few days, I've been saying, you guys should probably just avoid this altogether, because playing IPOs are very dangerous, totally unpredictable, anything can happen, high risk, high reward. So I didn't think it would squeeze this high, but here we are. At one point, the market cap went over $400 billion. For reference, GME went a little bit over $30 billion. So this squeeze was way more epic than the GME squeeze. And it's not done just yet. So I briefly researched. There's not too much information, but apparently it is a Chinese tech stock. They have their own metaverse, and they specialize in growing startups through funding and through other resources. And then AMTD Idea Group is the parent company of HKD. So let's go ahead, let's jump right in and analyze here. And there's really not too much to analyze. We only have a couple weeks of data here, so we'll work with what we have. So first of all, this is a bull flag in the making. No confirmation just yet, but here's the flag pull. So all we would need is some pullback for the flag to form, and that would be a bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock may break out to the upside. And then we do have a head and shoulders forming. So back here in the previous 2 trading sessions would be where the first shoulder is. Today would be the head, and the second shoulder hasn't formed yet, but that would be the next step. And the head and shoulders would be a bearish indicator that is suggesting that the stock may sell off. And this had 350,000 in volume today, which is actually one of the lower volume days. So I don't really know why this stock continued to squeeze so hard today. The volume doesn't justify that. So it kind of seems like no one's really selling, just covering. But alright guys, so just my opinion, not financial advice. This is a massive short squeeze here, and obviously at some point this is going to come crashing down, just a matter of when, not if. I'm not exactly sure how low it's going to go, because there are no indicators to make a solid prediction, but just based on my personal experience with IPOs, they tend to moon/squeeze in the beginning, and they pull back even further than where they IPO'd at. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. You missed massive upside here already. Went all the way from $12 to over $2,500 today. And here at $1,679, going long would straight up be FOMO at this point. According to the volume, the squeeze is losing momentum and should start to wind down and come to an end soon. So this is probably due for some very significant pullback, and you're probably going to get burned. I think this should easily come back down to at least 100, and there's a good chance it goes even lower than 12, which was the IPO. And from the current price, 1679 down to 100, that would be about a 95% downside potential. So massive downside potential here in the short term. So I would say going long at the current price, 1679 would be a high risk, medium reward play. I say high risk because, again, about a 95% downside potential here. And I say medium reward play because this is still short squeezing, still a retail favorite, so anything can happen. But it does appear like the squeeze is winding down and coming to an end. So there shouldn't be too much more upside potential. So I don't like the current entry of 1679, but I can support going long anywhere at $100 and lower. Personally, I'd probably set my buy orders to 12 and lower. I think $12 would be an excellent entry. Now, if you want to go short now financial advice, that appears to be a pretty good play at the moment. It is pretty risky because this is still short squeezing, and based on the recent price action, if it continues like this, you can easily get squeezed out. But that's pretty unlikely. The volume would suggest that the squeeze is winding down, coming to an end, and it is finally starting to show weakness today. Again, as with every short squeeze, it's going to have to come crashing down, just a matter of when, not if, and it appears like that time is pretty soon. So I would say going short at the current price, 1679, would be a medium risk, high reward play. Definitely worth a shot in my opinion. I say medium risk because, again, this is still short squeezing, so anything can happen, but pretty unlikely that we see any significant price action to the upside anymore. And I say high reward play because, again, there should be at least a 95% downside potential here. So as long as you're able to withstand some upside pressure, you should be able to make some very fat money here to the downside. So I can support going short at the current price, 1679, and again, I would cover anywhere at $100 and lower. So pretty straightforward, guys. This just IPO'd a couple of weeks ago. Crazy price action. This is some real nuclear MOAS here. So it's been quite a ride, but this is finally starting to show weakness today, and this should start to pull back pretty significantly in the short term. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. I think it's way too late to go long. Should have did that a couple of days ago. Going long here would be FOMO at this point. So honestly, you're better off just holding off and waiting for this to pull back if you want to enter the stock. I believe this is going to pull back down to at least 100. So I don't like the current entry of 1679, but I can support going long at $100 and lower. Personally, I would try to get this back at $12. I think that'd be an excellent entry. 95% downside potential, and really shouldn't go too much further to the upside. And if you want to go short, seems like a pretty good play. Again, the stock is finally starting to show weakness today. Looks like the squeeze is winding down, coming to an end. Really shouldn't be too much more upside to go. And again, massive downside potential here. So as long as you're able to withstand some upside pressure here, you should be able to make some pretty fat money here on the downside. So I can support going short at the current price, 1679 and higher. And again, I will cover anywhere at $100 and lower. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up, not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is HKD AMTD Digital. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.